get to this comment. I know Ben said he disagreed. Was it DK Fishing and Outdoors says Bama shouldn't be out, and Texas has wins over Vandy, who is 10-2. A&M 11-1, Oklahoma 10-2. Most importantly, Miami has a head-to-head win over Notre Dame with better wins against the same opponents. They don't have better wins.
So Miami was down to Stanford for almost a whole entire first half. Tied it going into the first half. They were down against Pittsburgh. They were tied to Syracuse with 2 minutes left in the first half. Those are better wins. Miami was down. Miami was up against NC State. I don't think NC State ever had a lead against Miami. But Miami was down or tied with all three of those teams at some point after the first score happening. So how is that? No, Miami has not done better against common opponents. They have started slower, and they have looked like shit to start the game. And then they finally get their shit together when they think, oh, we might lose.
And they get a touchdown with 20 seconds left. So I'm going to be honest. The reason this is so important to me and why I went on my rant and I want Notre Dame in is I think this Notre Dame team is better than last year's Notre Dame team. I do. But regardless if it's the same or whatnot, I think we are one of the few teams that can win it all. Whether I think that happens or not, I know we can make a run. And I said this to the chat earlier. I know with next year's schedule, we are making the playoffs. But it feels different. I feel that this year's team is going to be better than next year's team. And I feel that this is a year where we have to have a shot and see. Because if we don't and we're losing, I know, we have Carr on the offensive line back. We got good receivers. The defense will return pieces. We might lose some pieces on defense, but we'll return pieces, get some from the portal. But when you lose Price and Love, and that area where instead of stacking the box and you give Carr the advantage, I know that next year's team's offense might not be as good offensively. So I'm nervous that if we miss out this year, we missed out on a very good chance to have the opportunity to win. While I still think we make the playoffs next year and could make a run next year, we have a talented team. Is next year's team better than this year's team? Right? So that's why I'm like, come on, we have to have a shot,
Real quickly, I do want to, if you want to go back to that comment, Ryan, I do want to just kind of point out some stupid shit here. Okay, one, Bama shouldn't be out, and Texas has win. I'm assuming he's talking about how I said Texas doesn't deserve to be in. Texas has wins over 10-2 Vandy. Who the fuck is Vandy beat? They don't have a top 25 win right now. Their best win is Missouri, whose quarterback got injured in the first half.
Tennessee.
Hey, rankings wise, I'm pretty sure Missouri got more votes than Tennessee in the AP. We don't know how the CFP votes, but at the end of the day, that's not good. That's not good enough for us to say that Vandy's good.
Tennessee doesn't have a single ranked win either.
Yeah, they have Tennessee has 2 wins above 500.
Whether I agree with you, I agree, but I think it is atrocious that Vanderbilt blew out at Kentucky, got jumped by Miami, and both of them blow out ranked teams, and Vanderbilt's just sitting there behind.
I think that more just had to do with the fact they were like, we're not putting Vandy in.
Yeah.
I think realistically, there's certain Vandy got fucked this year by the fact Oklahoma won that game.
And also,
Vandy's probably this last team in.
The Miami head-to-head shit with this comment, stupid. We talked about the common opponents. Miami purposely left starters in late in those games to run the score up to make them look better.
We didn't run fade routes up by 30 points with 2 minutes.
Well, we tried against Stanford.
we tried against Stanford because Miami did it. But with our third stringers. Yeah,
that just proves how good our team is. Also, the Oklahoma thing. Oklahoma isn't good. Oklahoma fans have said themselves they're SEC Iowa. They're not going to get blown out. They're not going to blow teams out. If they get blown out, they lose to a top 3 team, a national championship team.
Jasper even
A&M wins a good win. I'm not going to
Jasper even said in the college football group chat that he didn't want to play Notre Dame because he thinks we would be a horrific matchup for them. So
we're a terrible matchup for most of the CFP besides Ohio State.
By the way, my mom says hi, Ben. I didn't think you could. I said hello, but I didn't think you could hear me. All right. Frustrated Notre Dame fan. Why is it assumed a team can't drop after conference championship week? It happened with the 4 team it happened when it was 2, specifically, especially 2012. Why not now? Because you had 12 teams. That's why.
Because realistically, like before, it was like that was a part of your resume that helped you build up. Like I think I talked about it when we talked about like, oh, this reminds me so much of the 2021 year. We needed Oklahoma State to win because I forget the other team that was behind us, but if they beat Oklahoma State, they were gonna jump Notre Dame and maybe even jump Cincinnati. And then we needed Alabama to lose to Georgia, but only one of those happened. Alabama ended up beating Georgia, which is hilarious because guess what? We're basically doing the same shit this year. We need a Big 12 team to lose. We need an SEC team to lose.
It reminds me so much, and I mentioned it slightly, and nobody brings it up. It was like 2016 when Ohio State was 11-1, Penn State was 11-2. Penn State had the same amount of wins as Ohio State, beat Ohio State, and won the conference, and Ohio State still got in over Penn State.
And guess what? Nobody had a problem with head-to-head then. Nobody bitched and moaned about, oh, it's Ohio State. It's big.
They had one less loss, but still,
you lost to.
The thing is like with the Ohio State shit, I want to say, no, Penn State. Wait, no, I'm thinking of next year. The next year was the year that Penn State won the Big Ten as a 10-2 team, right?
Was that the year Ohio State lost to Purdue?
That was the year Ohio State lost to Penn State.
Yes. That was the
thing. Penn State had the head-to-head, but Penn State had to play in the Big Ten championship game.
And won.
And they lost to Michigan State.
No, Penn State won the Big Ten that year.
Penn State won the Big Ten championship. They lost, I think.
I thought there was a year there was a year that Penn State lost the Big Ten championship and got left out the year they beat Ohio State.
What was the year that Ohio State lost to Purdue?
I think 2016.
That was 2017. Might have been 2018, actually. 2016, I mean. Here, I'm pulling it up now. CFP rankings.
But yeah, why you're pulling that up? Like, you can't jump, but I'm going to tell you why frustrated Notre Dame fan. Why is Miami going to jump Notre Dame when there's nothing that happens? You know what? These teams didn't play on the field, but my gut tells me Miami's better than Notre Dame now, so we'll flip them. You said Notre Dame's the 10th best team. Now you're going to flip them for what? To fuck Notre Dame? That's shit. That's shit.
It's bullshit.
We made it in 2018, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So yeah, in 2016, Ohio State was above Penn State though, but they didn't make the playoffs. I don't know if that's the year they lost. Yeah.
Penn State beat Ohio State, had the same amount of wins, and won the Big Ten, and didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that, again, like we've kind of rehashed it. I think we're all in agreement. We don't think Miami should move ahead.
No, let's ask this. What is our prediction for this weekend?
I think this. Here, realistically, I think Miami should be ahead of us if we're talking purely off merit. But if we're going purely off the fact that they have said for the past 4 weeks is about putting the best teams in, there's nothing Miami has done to be put in front of us.
So
nothing at all.
Hold on. That year, Penn State
lost to Pitt. Okay, I knew Penn State lost another game. I couldn't remember which one it was.
And Miami lost to SMU and Louisville. Sorry, but all right. So I'm gonna say this too. This weekend, what's your prediction for the last 2 teams in and the first team out? And what's the percentage Notre Dame gets in, Miami gets in, etc.? Like, what do you think it's Notre Dame? If it comes down to Notre Dame, Miami, do you think it's Notre Dame?
If they go off of what, and this is my thing, if they go off what they say and they hold that sure and dear, it's Notre Dame 100% in, even if it's neck to neck to each other. If they're going off of who is better, like who they think is better, like actually playing on the field, the eye test is what they say. It's Notre Dame. If they try to pull some shit, like we looked at the resumes now because they're right next to each other and we think Miami's better, I think they'll end up giving it to Miami if they do that shit. But if they do off what they've been doing the past 3 to 4 weeks, Notre Dame's ahead. Notre Dame's in the playoffs.
But what do you think happens, and what's the percentage that happens?
I think there's a 70% chance they do what I said, which is they look at head-to-head and they say Notre Dame's just better. The eye test says they're better. They've looked better than Miami has. They don't have the 2 unranked losses. Because some people say, like, oh, good teams can lose to unranked teams. You're right. Good teams can lose to unranked teams. They don't lose to them twice. And also, good teams can win again, or bad teams, or not bad teams. Okay teams can beat good teams. That does not mean the okay teams are better. And especially bad teams can beat good teams. Florida State beat a really good team in Alabama week 1. It does not matter. I think there's a 30% chance, so they backtrack well in what they say. And they said, we compared the resumes, we think Miami deserves it.
Okay, so you think Notre Dame's in the playoffs Sunday?
I think Notre Dame's in the playoffs come Sunday.
Right.
I think they should be.
All right, real quick. I also wanted to mention this, and then we can kind of move on. 2 things. First thing, I also think it's kind of insane that I don't necessarily know if it matters, but to me as a fan, when we're out there publicly defending Notre Dame's place, and you see the ACC official account, the Miami official account, all these big-time writers, these big-time media people beating the drum for Miami to get in over Notre Dame, yet you don't see the Notre Dame official account making a case. You don't see them campaigning. Hell, I thought the Jeremiah Love Heisman campaign was ran a little too late than what it should have been. Do you guys see an issue with that? Why do you guys think that is? Like, I've seen some people say maybe why? Notre Dame.
You want to know why?
Why?
I can tell you the exact reason why. Because it's a breach of contract for us to go out there and say we're better than an ACC school.
Also,
we're not breaching that shit because we're getting out that shit this year.
But they're doing it to us.
Yeah,
and it's just
but Fravel, the thing is, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, let's go back and do something to them. Because guess what? They're as guilty as we are, or we'd be as guilty as they are, and then we get fucked. But guess what? We're not going to do it, and then we're going to leave the fucking contract. I've been so, and this is the worst year for it. Last year it was kind of like, okay, there's certain things, like it sucks because we play these ACC schools. Some of them turned out to be okay, but a lot of them weren't that great. We should leave this contract. We should join the Big Ten. But now there's no reason for us to be here and put up this shit.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with Ben. Answer the question though that we were talking about with what do you think?
I think Notre Dame's logically, and me, Ben, and 229 were talking about this last night. The logical part in your brain is telling you the head-to-head wasn't enough to get Miami over Notre Dame all year. There's no games being played. Notre Dame and Miami are both sitting at home on the couch this weekend. Nothing's changed. Logically, Notre Dame should be in as long as BYU doesn't win. I think that's what's going to happen more than likely, but it's just impossible to believe anything this committee says because they flip-flop. They've been contradicting themselves all year. 2 weeks ago, they said the head-to-head was used between Notre Dame and Miami, that both were directly compared, and it didn't matter. It wasn't enough. And then this was last night, the guy says, well, we never directly compared Notre Dame to Miami, while saying that they were compared in the same pool, which makes no fucking sense. And then today, with Mike Golick Jr. in an interview, he's like, Notre Dame's just a better team right now. We believe Notre Dame's better. Notre Dame lost to 2 top 12 teams by 4 points. They've been more consistent all year than Miami. Meanwhile, Miami lost 2 out of 3 games in the middle of the season, and that's why we have Notre Dame ahead of Miami right now.
He said that today? The commissioner?
Said that today.
Okay, to be exact. That was released today. When was it said? We don't know, but it was said after last week's rankings. So you would think that has to do with what they did with district rankings as well.
Yeah. Well,
it was released after the games played.
Yeah, he said BYU was 11-1.
Yeah. So it was released so it could have been recorded Monday. It could have been recorded last night. It could have been recorded yesterday morning. We don't know when it was recorded, but they had to be thinking about that when they did this. Because they do the actual selection on Sundays, don't they? That's when they actually do it. They actually go into a room and decide on Sunday.
They do.
Yeah.
So I think 2 things with this is, if that's the case, because I didn't see that, they have been comparing them. And I think the only way they flip is if the media gets to them. Because everyone in the media...
I would be shocked if they give a shit what the media says. Because the media is telling them Diego Pavia is the best fucking player in the country and he's a Heisman winner. Why would you leave out Heisman champ?
I think it's
10-2 Heisman.
I think Notre Dame 60, Miami 40. Yeah. I think Notre Dame gets in.
Yeah.
And I think we're freaking out, but I think they get it.
At the end of the day, we're seeing what part of the fan base, is just listening to what's around them and like just listening to what's on Twitter and what part of the fan base is actually like taking us. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little annoyed. And you can ask Fravel. I went off in a group chat last night because I was annoyed. I'm sick as hell.
You went off today?
Can't tell. I went off today. Today was a little not as bad. I went off last night. I don't like going off on people in the group chat unless it's really needed. I'm tired of the it's always, our season's over. Like, I fully understand. Trolls are troll. It's funny. But if you say shit and then you lie about it and you try to gaslight people into thinking that you know more than them, I just don't want to deal with it. So I went off. I regret doing it because it made me seem like an asshole. I didn't want to be an asshole to these people.
There was a night like 4 days ago where I was frustrated with something and you went off on me, but then I told you I
was annoyed because we're playing against Stanford and I'm getting my phone is ringing with play-by-play of the Auburn fucking Alabama game. I have the game on, Sean. We don't need play-by-play.
But then you apologized. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I sound like I'm sorry. I'm just annoyed.
So Sean said, here's the clip. I'll play it for you. This is what he said. I think this was recorded today during the Mike Golick show. So this is what Hunter Yurachek said about Notre Dame, Miami, and BYU.
Does he record the same? Fuck it, just play. We'll talk about it.
Games, and so they entered at 18. They have climbed. Miami entered our
Nick 2025 your year now.
Games, and so they entered at 18. They have climbed fairly quickly on the heels of 4 really impressive wins, including what they did against Pittsburgh this past weekend to number 12. Notre Dame, on the other hand, has been incredibly consistent over the past 10 weeks. They've won 10 consecutive games. They're outscoring their opponents 440 to 143, and we felt like they're just the better team right now. And then you've got a BYU team again that the committee's got a great deal of respect. 11-1. Their only loss on the road at number 4, Texas Tech. Their schedule strength and record strength metrics are really, really high. So you're looking at those teams collectively and you're splitting hairs, but the committee felt like at this point in time in a ranking that Notre Dame deserved to be ranked ahead of BYU and Miami, and that BYU deserved to be ranked ahead of Miami.
So that says right there that there's no chance that they jump Notre Dame.
And this is what I said last night. He couldn't be saying all this shit about oh, we're gonna redo the rankings. We're gonna re-rank all 25 teams. He could have said that just to get all 6, 7. We're trying to get the 6 to 7 best teams in.
So fucking cringy, bro.
But he could have been saying that just because they want people to tune in on Sunday. Or he could have been saying that just because it's something to talk about. Let's be real. If they're like, no, idle teams can't jump idle teams. Miami fans and Notre Dame fans would be talking. We'd be taking the week off. Let's be real. It'd be our bye week.
Yeah.
We wouldn't care.
I do think it's interesting because I do feel like that you've seen it's pretty split evenly online. Half Miami fans think their season's done. There's no shot. Half of them think that they're going to flip Notre Dame on Sunday. So it's interesting. But we spent a lot of time.
That there's a lot of Miami fans that think their season's over, and there's a lot of Notre Dame fans that think our season's over. The majority flip-flopped what the decision is.
It's funny because I know that it's not, and I think we make it, but I also feel stressed thinking that our season is over too. So I'm literally conflicted with everything.
Yeah, so Deuce, our good friend Deuce, said, who you lost to should also matter. I test says Notre Dame's a top 3 team in the country. I don't know how you guys feel. And we're going to move on after this because we've spent 50 minutes talking about this. But I think Notre Dame, and if you look at the FPI, the RPI, all the different metrics that power rank teams, they have Notre Dame in the top 3. I think Notre Dame, at the bare minimum, is a top 5 team in the country right now. If Notre Dame were to get in, and it is the bracket that we see, which is Notre Dame, you play A&M, Indiana, you get probably Georgia. If that happens, I think it's very possible you see a Notre Dame Ohio State rematch in the national title game this year. Now you got to get through Georgia. Ohio State would have to get through Bama and Oregon. Have to get through Bama, brother. But I do think that
one quarter.
Yeah, I think that
I'm taking Ohio State minus 25.5 against every team with this current bracket, all the way until the semifinals.
Yeah,
maybe even the finals. Yeah, maybe even the finals.